Hi, I'm here to talk about passion. When you say passion, it's, well, there are many definitions, but for me it's doing something that I love doing. And to translate that or to relate that to being an entrepreneur, I guess I'd have to go back to a question that was given to me by my niece, one of my nieces, Jody, maybe a couple weeks back. And the question was, she said, Aku, which is uncle in Chinese. She said, Aku, why are you a businessman? And I sort of froze and had to regroup, and then before I was able to answer her. And I hope that in the next few minutes I'll be able to explain to you what I've told her through my experiences, which I'd like to share. So growing up, I guess just like everyone else out there, you've been told to follow your dreams and just do what you want to do. And through high school, college, ganyan, I've had quite a number of dreams. I wanted to get into politics. I wanted to write. I wanted to be a photographer. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to get into finance. I wanted to be an architect. So the next question would most likely be, so what are you now? And the answer is, I'm a businessman. And siguro with having all those dreams, I wanted to pursue some of them, but I guess circumstance led me to earn a regular business degree. And eventually, what my parents told me of following your dreams really wasn't cut out that way. They wanted me to actually help out in the family business. And my dad was into a lot of different businesses. And so after finishing college, he asked me to help out in one of his companies. And maybe a few months into that, that was manufacturing, ganun. A few months into that, I felt very bored. Everything was routine, and I stood up to my dad and told my dad that, Dad, I really can't stay here anymore. I'm not learning anything. So he said, okay, take a vacation. And so I went, I sort of babysitted my sister as she was moving to Australia for her MBAs. So I was there for a couple of months, and then when I came back, my dad set up a new business for me, which was, well, to be honest, not part of my dreams. I did not want to be in the medical field, and that was a pharmaceutical company. But by that time, I had, well, honestly, no choice. The company was set up, the office was there, he already bought out the company. He hired managers already. And the only thing I could say was, sige, I'll give it a shot. Of course, that's my dad. And so I did give it a shot, contrary to what I think would have been the better way of pursuing that, which is to learn the business some more before just jumping into it. And for a couple of years, I was doing that. And honestly, it was not a success. And if I look at the board and I see successful people work very hard, I worked my ass off during that time. I mean, I was coming in early, leaving the office the latest, and it still was not a success. And eventually, I found myself dragging my feet to work. And at about that time, we decided to shut down the operations because it was losing a lot of money. And So after that, I sort of asked myself, so what's going to happen next? Will I be working for another company, no? Or can I actually start pursuing my dreams? No? And that's what I did. No? I got the courage and I spoke to my dad. I told him, Dad, would you mind if I pursued something on my own? You know? And to this day, I'm very happy because my dad never stopped me. In fact, the only thing he asked me is that, will that pay you well? Because he was after my well-being. And so I went into different things. No? And one realization I had pursuing those different things, things that I wanted to do was, there's always, when people ask you, hey, is the glass half empty, half full? No? And that made me think, for me, the things I get into, the businesses I get into, may be related or not related, but these came as a result of me being just curious or very interested in something, because I never said to myself, the glass is full. You know? And so, fast forward, I do many stuff now, and technically, while I'm not an architect or I'm not a chef, I am part of a food business, and that makes me a chef. I'm finishing construction of a site now. That makes me an architect. And I get to write when need be. My dealing with different businessmen, different people from all walks of life, that makes me feel like I'm a politician. And basically, the free time I have, because I run my own thing, allows me to dabble in finance. So that's what I answered my niece. I told my niece, I'm a businessman because I get to do all the things I've ever wanted to do. Name it, the things I've thought of before. I'm getting into it my way. It may not be a 100% thing. It may not be a full-time thing, but I'm doing it. So I guess in closing, and to add to the board, my message would be never keep your glass full. Always, rather, keep your glass half empty all the time or half full all the time. Because, just keep it coming. There's so many things to learn, so many new things to do. That's it. I will write my lesson. Okay. Always half full. John C. Thank you. Ay.